Right? Yeah. All right, hold on so I can get a good shot. I'm trying to get my head out the way. How about that? This is information about what's going on today. It's not new information. I made a video about Endeavor documentary, and these are the rest of the documents that I printed out. Okay. I of course am going to be cutting the video. In 1983, 90% of American media was owned by 50 companies. 50 companies owned 90% of the media. That's everything we hear, everything we see, everything that we then start to talk about, which forms the basis of our beliefs about the government, about what the government is doing, and our decisions. So as you can see, the 50 companies are listed here in 1983. 6 companies now own and control everything we see, hear, and consume. This year is 2011. Make sure it's in the frame. Okay. Because later I'm going to be cutting this later. So you see the companies at the bottom. The 6 companies are General Electric, News Corp, Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, and CBS. Now, it's no longer 6 companies. This was in 2011 because I do believe Time Warner sold their company. Ted Warner sold his company or something. And I think Viacom and Time Warner and maybe Corp, CBS, a lot of them are either owned by the people who own Fox. News Corporation. There's a reason why I'm doing this. I'll get to it. News Corporation owns all of these. Let me make sure it's in the shot. Okay, so News Corporation owns all of these companies. I really should do the other one over again. I'll do this one. I'm going to redo this one because these companies were consolidated. I want to make sure it gets in there and you can see it without the wind blowing it. All right. Without the fan blowing it. It's time consuming for me to do this, but I'm going to cut this video so you won't see all the chit chat and talking in between. But I do want you to pay attention to the main company and then everything that they own over here. This is General Electric. Make sure I got it in the frame. Okay. Yeah, see, this is Time Warner, who now owns CNN, like I thought. Please pay attention. Oh, because this is important. Time Warner, CNN, the WB. Okay. HBO Max, Cinemax. Okay. And media companies with major ownership. They have the company, they have the percentage of shares by 5% owners or insiders. Then they have percentage of shares held by mutual funds / institutions. That's where they create a company. So it's not in the person's name, but it belongs to the person. Then they can get all these tax breaks that they hired lobbyists to say, give this company a tax break if they hire this many people. Give this company a credit if they hire this many people. Give this company reparations if they hire people from this type of part of the world. All of this with your tax dollars. And then they have the number of institutions that are holding shares. So it says Comcast, 5%, 83%, 773. Top institutional holders and percentage of capital research. To some of you, that'll make sense. To some of you, that won't make any sense. I'll talk about it so that it does make sense. But this is Comcast. Then they went and they said, what are voters concerned about? Because what are we arguing about? We are arguing about guns, abortion, inflation, and the economy. Jobs. Those are the 5 things. In that order. Look what this says we're concerned about. You see it? It says the economy and jobs, 48%. The budget deficit and the national debt, 5%. Education. Healthcare. I skipped healthcare, 5%. Budget deficit, national debt, 5%. And then education, 3%. Okay. So this was back when Obama and Romney were tied. This is not now. This is back when Obama and Romney ran, 2008. See how they told us that, what we were interested in? It's from CBS News and a poll taken by the New York Times. Then, back in Obama and Romney's day, we have a race for the White House, swing states. These are always the swing states. They never change. You can add some to it, take some away, but these are always the swing states. Now, instead of saying the states where white people live and vote, they call them swing states because the rest of the population is not engaged enough. Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, Florida, Wisconsin, New Mexico, Iowa, Missouri, Maine, Nevada, and Colorado. Predominantly white, predominantly rich and middle class or upper rich, because this was back then. So there is no more middle class. You don't have to agree with me. If you're one of the people who just lost your homes, if you're one of the people that can't refinance again, if you're one of the people that had to move out of a home and into an apartment, and then you realize the apartment rent is $2,500 to $3,000, which was your mortgage payment, and now you've taken your money, having sold your house at a less value because your house was supposed to be an investment. Nah. They priced you out of your house so that you can't afford it anymore. And they probably held some of the papers when you purchased it to lower the price down so that you could qualify for the mortgage. Who made that system? qualifying for the mortgage. Who do you think created that? People who own the banks. Who own the banks? The 1% and 2%. And then they have lobbyists go hire one of the people that we hire to work in the public. They have their lobbyists pay them money on top of the public salary that they're getting. And they create all these regulations that favor the person that is selling you the home. It favors the bank. And so that's why the banks in America went, now we got to get a loan. You can go to your local bank, but they're going to get the money from a foreign entity and then charge you a higher interest rate. Here's Jesse Jackson Jr., Congressman in Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Illinois. Looking like his daddy. He's one of the ones that they had in the article. Endeavor had him in the article, so that's why I printed him out. He's one of the ones. Not the bad one. Not the bad one, but I'm just saying. He's one of the ones. Here we go again. Let me make sure that's there. Just these companies. Now this is today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just these companies are companies that we do bit our government, our Congress and the president have making all of our weaponry. General Electric, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, and BAE Systems. Now, I've never heard of BAE Systems. This one here in the red, I never even heard of them. BAE. I have no idea who that is. Never heard of them. Okay. This is who controls our banks. This is who controls our banks. Make sure I got it in the frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Chase. I think the only American company is Citigroup, and I'm going to check that to see. Wells Fargo, I believe, no longer exists. It's now called Santander. See, when I try to tell people that we are run and owned and everything is produced by the elite in this country. This is who services the contracts for our government and the armed forces and our weapons. Just these 3 companies. Academy, Raytheon, and KBR. They service us. Now, there's subcontractors. There are subcontractors. But these are the main ones. All the subcontractors are subcontractors to those ones. Ta-da-da. Make sure you can see it right. Cut this. All right. I think most people know who the Koch brothers are. This is them when they were in their heyday, Koch brothers. This is them now. These two men alone put Tuberville in office. And we now know our armed forces, the four branches of government of our armed forces, no longer have anybody to run the army. The positions are not filled. The Koch brothers pay over $245,555 to politicians who support voter ID laws. How much do we pay? How much do we pay the salary? Anybody know? This was back in 2000. I think I made this video. I'm going to look it up last year. And the article is about from what was happening in 2011. 2011, they were making $173,000 a year, our congressmen and women. So you have lobbyists. You have a lobbyist approach you and say, hey, sit on this committee and I'll give you this. This next one is showing you that in 2011, December of 2011, campaign contributions from financial services industries to members of Congress who submitted comment letters. They're arranged by letter. That means the date that the letter, was written for the congressman. This is what happened to our government. I didn't want to go back too far. So I figured 2011, since they already did the commercial for me. And then the rest is that this is how many people, these next pages, submitted a letter. This is how many people submitted a letter in Congress. And my printer was going to run out of ink, so I stopped printing the pages. You see the pages go on to the next one. But I didn't want to use up all my ink because I got other things I got to do. I got other things I got to print. And now we're back to the first page. There's a reason that I'm showing you this. Be patient. Today, 2023. His name is Sachs. It's the name of the company is Sachs Realty. Make sure I got it in there. Yeah. And the other guy, let me see if I got his name. I said it in my other video. I forget the other guy's name. But he's a realtor. And this is specifically to the state of Florida, specific to the state of Florida. I really want you guys to see this. And I'm going to put a link to the video in the description so you can go and look at it yourself. And last but not least, the deficit, the budget. get that in there so you can really see it. Okay. This came from MSNBC. No, wait. Yeah, MSNBC. This was Morning Joe. They were watching something on Morning Joe. It's Midas Touch, but they were watching Morning Joe. Midas Touch at the bottom was watching Morning Joe. And then I was watching Midas Touch because Joe Scarborough was talking about the budget. Okay. I am running for president of the United States. And this is the last one. This is New Jersey's minimum wage chart by job type, by year, and the growth over the year from when they started it in 2010 and what it should be in 2024. So most employees in 2020 was paying $11 an hour. 2021, $12. 2022, $13. 2023, $14.13, and expected in 2024, $15.31. But then as you go across and you see the types of employment, it changes. Okay? So, why is that important? Why is any of that important for me running for president of the United States? Because you need to see these things. This is what I consume from the news media. Unbiased. It's going to be good. Unbiased. I want you to see the things that I'm looking at. Because a lot of times, I'm a consumer, just like you are a consumer. And I'm asking the average person to vote for me, not the people who are going to put on airs and say, you can't be the president because you didn't finish college. Not the people who are going to say, she didn't have our interest. She doesn't know how to run a corporation. She doesn't know how to engage in talks with foreign policy. She doesn't know, she doesn't know, she doesn't know. She's overweight. She doesn't wear makeup. She's not married. She didn't have a husband. See, these are all the things that got you people into the situation that you're in right now, including me. Because we have nobody else to vote for other than the people that the Koch brothers put up to run. And they put people up on the Republican side and the Democrat side. But on the Democrat side, they got to be like this. On the Republican side, they got to say, we're conservative. But the Koch brothers are paying everybody. And the Koch brothers don't care what you call yourself. As long as you get in there and say what you got to say and do what you got to do. Now, if it's a thing where there's a mob and the mafia is in charge and, making people do what they got to do and threatening people and making people disappear, that was one thing. But none of our Congress people have disappeared. Now, some of them have been threatened. I'm going to name anybody's name in particular. There's several of them that have been threatened when they did not go along with the program. So we have a small group of people controlling our media, from 50 media companies where you could pick and choose what you wanted to hear, consume, and believe, because you knew everybody was not going to hire the people that the elite and the uber rich out of those 50 companies. So what the rich did was they knocked those 50 companies out. So now we have to get our news from who? The people who are rich and the elite, the 1% and 2%. So here comes this thing called YouTube. And YouTube says you can start your own channel or you could do a subscription and make videos. So this is how I will be going to the world, through my YouTube videos. And this is how I will be asking you to cast your vote for me in your state. No one can make a living off of the minimum wage in New Jersey. These people have to get 2 and 3. No one can make a living off of the wages in New Jersey. You have to get 2 and 3 jobs. January 1st, 2024, the minimum wage for long-term care facility direct care staff members, direct care staff members will be $18.13. Right now, it's $17.13 if you work in the care industry. And so they have these TPS workers coming over here, and that's who they're giving the jobs to. Cash wages for tip workers. If you work for tips, right now you're getting $5.26 an hour, and that's going to be the same thing in January, $5.26. If you are an agriculture employer, $12.01, and then next year it's going to go up to $12.81. This is what affects our food. If you are a seasonal and small business and you have fewer than 6 employees, the minimum wage is $12.93, and next year it'll be $13.73. So you see, a lot of businesses are saying, but we're going to close down because we can't afford to pay those wages. The wages are matched. But a lot of companies do go out of business because they can't pay the wages. And then for most employers in the state of New Jersey, minimum wage is $14.13. And then next year it's going to go up $1 to $15.13. How can you live off of that? How can you pay rent off of that money? I'll tell you something. Because see, I made that back in the 80s and the 90s. A 40-hour week. 40-hour week. Multiply that times, what did I say? $15. Excuse me. $14.31. This is before taxes. It's $572.40. $572.40 a week before taxes, nothing taken out. Multiply that times 4 weeks. $2,289.60. Nothing taken out. This is just gross minimum wage. How are you, if you have one child and you are required to have at least 2 bedrooms, please tell me how you're paying your rent. Could you tell me how you're putting gas in your car, buying food, paying for public service and electricity, paying for your Medicaid, and if you go to the doctor, paying the copay, and having entertainment for your kids, buying necessities, clothes, food, toilet paper, household items, cleaning items, sheets, bed, pillows, going to the laundry. Please tell me how you're doing that for $2,800. I'm just rounding it. $2,800. Please tell me how you're doing that. Because this is what I made back then when rent was $750. And then it went up to $1,000. And I always claimed my dependents because I needed most of my money in my check, not a big lump sum when I filed my taxes. I needed to get through the year with my kids, and then I'd get some back. I wouldn't get as much, but I never made enough that with the 2 kids and running and live in my own home and my own bills, I never made enough that I owed the government, of course, as a single parent. But my kids were born in the 80s, both of them. And I didn't have Section 8. Please tell me, in this day and age, when the apartments cost $2,000 for a 2-bedroom, if you are a single parent working, please tell me how you paying your rent. I want to know that. It's not sustainable. God only knows what men and women are doing. Living together. Pooling their money and living together. One person move in and rent, and then everybody else turn and look the other way, or the landlord got their hand out for a little extra on the side, and then they keep quiet and then let your family move in until it's a fire and people die in the building because too many motherfuckers, or it's not enough water pressure because there's too many people in the building, in that apartment building. And that's a lot of wear and tear, because an apartment building that's only made to house 1,000 people, if you got 3,000 motherfuckers in there, that's a lot of wear and tear. Yeah. Next thing they talk about today in the news is the deficit. I said in one of my other videos, I only know 2 people who inherited a deficit, hundreds of trillions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars. The state of New Jersey, we were in a deficit. Because Chris Christie, all the way back when she had it, Chris Christie, I forgot the other guy. Christine Whitman, Keene, the other guy, I forget, McGreevy, and now Murphy. Chris Christie, and then Murphy. We have had a debt in New Jersey all the way back then. Douglas, I think his name might have been Governor Douglas, but don't hold me to it. But from all the way back then till now, we have had a debt in the state of New Jersey, hundreds of millions of dollars, until Murphy got here. Now we have a surplus, $6 billion. It was 10, but he used some of it, so now it's down to $6 billion with a B dollars surplus for whomever the next governor of New Jersey is going to be. Because he can only run two back-to-back terms. Then he has to give it up, and somebody else has to have the governorship, and then he can come back and run again. Bill Clinton, before George Walker Bush took over for his 2 terms, came up with the whole lie about him and Cheney, about Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, got us a debt in the war, and which is why they attacked during his 2nd term. One of the reasons why they really were trying to pay his father back, the first Bush, who gave weapons of mass destruction to the enemies of Iran and Iraq, used them against them. So the kids grew up, they got older, they found out what happened, and they said, oh, now your son's in office? Okay, now we're going to blow up your city. Yeah. See, this why when you're in government, you can't be in there thumping your nose at people. We're the most powerful nation in the world, and we have more weapons of mass destruction than anybody. So what? You can't use the motherfuckers. Can't nobody use their weapons of mass destruction. Please be clear. Until somebody is on a suicide mission, nobody who has weapons of mass destruction can use the weapons of mass destruction. Now, can they blow up a city? Yes. But that's just using a regular bomb. Can't use the other bombs because then you're going to have all that shit in the air. And you think it's going to stay in their country, or you think the wind going to blow it right back to the United States? It's probably what we inhaling now. Look, some COVID. Probably inhaling something from somebody done used a bomb that somebody used a bomb that they shouldn't have used. And the shit's in the air, making all of us sick, killing us. So they decide to say it's whatever. But, it could be that, or just it could be exactly what they said COVID was. Whatever COVID is, I've had it twice. It didn't kill me. It tried, but it didn't kill me. And there was something in the air. Everything was smelling very foul. The trees, whatever that was in the air in New Jersey. I don't know if it was in other states, though I heard somebody in Texas say there was something in the air as well. And it stayed for months in the air. I had to wear a mask because I have very bad allergies. But getting back to what I was saying, Bill Clinton left George Bush over $100 million of a surplus. He went through that money. Nobody even know what he did with it. Nobody benefited when the second Bush Walker was in office. Here's the thing. I'm going to read the debt. Contributions to the national debt. This is a debt for everything, the national debt, not just the domestic products and debts that we have for purchasing for our domestic product. $1.86 trillion when Ronald Reagan was in office. $1.35 trillion when Herbert Walker was in office. No, Herbert, the first Bush. $1.4 trillion when Bill Clinton was in office, though he got rid of the entire debt and left George Walker Bush, the son. You won't believe it. He left him a deficit of a few $100 million. And this nigga, when this man left after 8 years, $6.1 trillion. Obama comes in, and then there's a debt of $8.34 trillion. Trump gets in, and then there's a debt of $8.2 trillion. And then now we have Biden in his first 2 years, the debt is $1.84 trillion. How is it that you go from the first three, boop, 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 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and then you jump over here and all of these down here, and the goddamn debt is $6.88 trillion. And by the time Biden is finished, we don't know, because now he wants to help. He sent the money to Ukraine, and he's sending the money to, because he just asked for $100 million for Ukraine. I think he said Taiwan and Israel. Why are we sending so much of our money to foreign countries? See, me, I'm your neighbor. You in there fighting your wife. Your wife in there fighting you. You all are disturbing my peace. I'm calling the police because you're disturbing my peace. Now, he got scratches and stabs. She got a black eye and a broken arm. I'm not going to go pay any of their medical bills for them, because they did that to themselves. I don't know who's right. I don't know who's wrong. I don't know who cheated on who, and I don't care. I don't want you two to hurt yourselves, and I don't want you to be over there fighting and shooting and have some of that bullet land in my home where I'm at. I also don't want to hear it. I want you to keep the peace. But you don't have to listen to me, because y'all are grown. But I'm not going to hear it all night, and you're not going to jeopardize my life in case you have a gun. I'm not going to take my paycheck and give it to the two of them. That's what our country is doing. Every time somebody gets in a war, we put our 2 cents in that war, and now we got to wind up, taxpayers, paying trillions of dollars. But when I say just take the 14 billion and pay those who qualify for the one-time payment of $1.5 million to compensate those who were slaves, because when I was born, I was a slave. Just in case you say, "Oh, your slavery was gone." No, sweetie. Slavery stayed on the books, and we were treated like slaves. Now, it may have been illegal to do it, but the law on the book said they still could do it, and they did. They didn't get rid of slavery in the United States till 1968, and I was born in 1967. So the first year of my life, I was a slave. Anyway, because the laws are the laws until you change them. You can make a declaration saying we're not do it no more. But when you leave the laws on the book, the law is still the law. And the law says black people were still slaves until 1968. But that's not what this video is about. I watched a show called Ed Sachs. Excuse me, not Ed Sachs. Sachs Realty. I think his name might be Ed. I don't know what his name is. I forget. But this guy up here, he does a show called Sachs Realty. I'm going to put a link to the video. And then this guy right here, I forget the name of his company, but I don't want to say it on my thing anyway. He left from Pennsylvania. He left from up north during the COVID time and got that PPP money. He was already in real estate. And he's saying that the people down in Florida, the general public, are losing their homes left and right. So what he did was he took from the year 2013, and then 10 years later, 2023, he's showing how the house that was $100 million is now, 10 years later, 300. Oh, did I say 100 million? I'm sorry. A $100,000 house in 2013, now 10 years later, is now $300,000. So if your income has not increased along with the price of the housing, how are you affording the mortgage? Just like when I did with New Jersey, when I did the calculations and I said, how is the person affording rent? If you are rich and that middle class, because it's the middle class that can afford these homes. You please tell me how are you now affording your mortgage? Your income has not gone up, but your monthly payments have gone up because the price of the same house that they did inspection on and told you was $100,000 10 years ago. Now that house is being evaluated at 200% more than what it was. And down in Florida, they've sold so much of the land to China. You don't even own the land that the damn house is sitting on. What's that? A lot of y'all think y'all own the land that your house is on. You're going to be very surprised to find out that, no, honey, the United States doesn't own the land. It was just selling you the house on the land, because the land belongs to China. See, all of that needs to change. And it's Biden and Trump who made these deals. And before them, it was Bush, and Obama. And before Obama, it was Bush. And before Bush, it was yada, yada, yada. Clinton. They have sold this country out. So I say these things, again, I'm 56, so I've been listening and hearing and watching it. And I've had a company. I've sat on the board of trustees. Um, I've been a community activist all my life. So, and literally all my life, because I started being a community activist when I was 15. But right around the time I had my first child. I've been a mother. I'm a grandmother, possibly a great grandmother. That'll be good. And it is just asinine looking at these numbers. Look at these numbers. See if I can get them in there again. It's hard to see, especially when the wind is blowing it. The numbers. Pause it if you can, if my hand is not shaking too much. And look at those numbers. Hold on. I've got the fan. I got the fan going. But if you can, pause this video and look at these numbers. Let me see. Let me line it up so that it comes in. All right. Now it's clear. Is that ridiculous or is that ridiculous? A townhouse that used to cost 10 years ago $150,000. A townhouse now. Because the first number I gave you was for a single family house. This is a townhouse and condos. Now, 10 years later, I'm sorry, 210,000, 210,000, $100,000, 13 years ago. It now costs, it went up to 400,000 for that a townhouse. And what he's saying is now the townhouse price is coming down, but it's still over 400 and about 50,000. So now it's coming down. It's probably about 420 to 415 to 420, $100,000 for a townhouse that 10 years ago used to cost about $210,000. Over 30 years, you can afford that. But now your income hasn't gone up. And let me just make a correction. The homes, the single family home was $380,000 in 2013. Now it's up to $700,000. $700,000. It's the dark blue line. The dark blue line. See that dark blue line? Let me get it in there. At the bottom, dark blue line. One is for the condoms, one is for the condominiums and townhomes, and one is for the single family homes. Please tell me what income you're making that you're going to be able to afford that. Please explain to me why the price went up so much. Because see, when you put the right people in office, people will make money by selling the houses, reselling them. They get passed down to relatives if somebody's left when somebody passes away. But you're going to make money the whole 30 years on that. If you're in that business, you're going to make your money. The bank is going to make its money in fees. And you're going to be paid over a period of 15 or 30 years for the mortgage on that house and anything time it's refinanced. And possibly a car, because most people get a car when they get a house with their credit like that. Well, they take some of the down payment from the house and they go ahead and they refinance and get a brand new car, which makes sense. It makes sense to me to buy a used car, either the year 1 or 2 years old, that's going to last for 30 years, the life of your mortgage. That's a nice car that you don't have to worry about. As you pay your house, you pay your car. I mean, the year to date change went from 8% to 30%. It's a range. At the close of sale, it's 30%. But last year, the close of sale was 4.3%. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just, when I looked at this, and I'm like, oh my God. So you had a column called pending sales. Pending sales in 2022 was 144 homes. August, and that's August of 2022. August of 2023, pending sales went down 130. That's a change of negative 9.7%. So the year to date is how much they're saying. So I'm not going to worry about that. That's just taking everything for the year and adding it up. Another thing I'm going to read is dollar volume of the home. August of last year, $114 million. August of 2023, $77 million. You see that, how it went down? The dollar volume of the homes. And then they have the year to date. The average sales price of the home in August 22 was $822,000. August of 2023, it's down $580,589. That's a negative 29.4%. The median sales price of the home in August 2022 was $505,000. It has gone down a year later to $417,000 and $5,500, a change of negative 17.3%. You see, in 2023, you can no longer afford to buy it. So they got all these houses with all these high prices, and now they're not selling. They have a hard time where people are finding to get in these homes. So I just wanted to point these things out to you. I also wanted to share with you where I get my information from. What the news source, hold on, I'm sorry about the shaking. What the news source is, where I get my information. And what's important to me and what should be important to you is that we put someone in office like me. Stop worrying about what I'm wearing on these videos. Stop worrying about if my hair is done. I never going to wear makeup. I don't believe in wearing makeup, but I might put some eyelashes on. But right now, I am home. Right now, I'm home explaining to you that if we don't stop letting these people go up on food, go up on cars, go up on electricity, and go up on homes. When I first started watching TV, they had these little homes on wheels with a bathroom, a bed, your front room, your kitchen, everything was in the van. Used to put some vans together to cost $10,000-$20,000. Don't you know some of them are all the way up to $500,000? The price of a goddamn home. It is the price of a home. From 2019 to now, it's 4 years. It is those vans that used to be $10,000 are literally $100,000 to $200,000. Why? So I implore you people in America, because the conspiracy theories out the window. This is just real life. If we taxpayers do not take back our cities, our councils, our school boards, if we don't take it back, only the 1% and 2% in this country will be able to make it. Everybody else going to be wiped out. I don't mean murdered. I don't mean killed. I mean, we're going to be homeless. And usually with homelessness, eventually, too many people in America become homeless. They're going to get the army to take care of it. And some of y'all not going to make it. Some of y'all not going to make it because of inclement weather. It's cold as hell out there. You're out there sleeping in a tent, trying to keep warm with a fire. No place to wash yourself, getting infections, cutting yourself, getting infections and body parts coming off. And come on. And there's not enough money in SSI. There's not enough money on SSDI. People got to live with each other. People can't have kids. It is the same product that me and my mother raised us up on, and me and my kid, I raised my kids up on. It's the same product. It's not brand new product. So why are you paying so much more for it? Whether it's a house or a car or food or medicine, why are you paying so much more for it? Because you got people like the Koch brothers that said to the people that we elected and put in Congress, if you do this for me, I will give you money. I'll give it to your campaign. I'll make sure that nobody can even see anybody else who's running for president of the United States. I'll make sure they stay off the ballot. And I'll make sure that I pay for all your commercials so people can see that you're running. They won't see who else is running. I'm going to go cut this video up. I implore you to take me serious, because I am running for president of the United States. I will not be hiring any lobbyists. And I want you to also go through the Senate in the other video at GovTrack, HTTPS, www.govtrack, GOVTRACK dot US/Congress/members, plural with an S, / put in your state. If you do not know your district, just put in your state and everybody will come up. And then it should tell you what district the person is working in. Like how here it says here about Cory Booker. I know that he's a senator and has his phone number and a way to get in touch with him. They have an official website for the person, a phone number, okay? And this is how you get in touch with these people. Let's do it right here. GovTrack, U.S. Congress members, New Jersey, 12. Pulling it up on my phone. It says GovTrack at the top. You can't see it. Okay. You see what I put in? And then that's what came up. And it says, find my... Okay, well, it jumped. I hate about these phones. Oh, so this says, we are excited to now be on Mastodon, a social network developed by and for its users, as well as TikTok. Follow us at GovTrack. Okay, so thank you for the message. But at any rate, when I put in New Jersey, it brought him up, it brought him up, and it brought her up. When I put in 12. Now, let's just go to his official website. This is his official website. Should illegal immigrants receive benefits? Let me get rid of the ad. Okay, so it says, here's his website. And it says, write to Corey. All right, this is how you find your people. This is how you do it. I don't want to write to Corey. But if you hit write to Corey, it asks you, what is your name? And then I'm sure the rest of the stuff will come up. So if I put in my name, look at my information coming up. So I'm not going to do it because literally my card information came up. And I don't want to write him. I was really just going to show John Doe. John Deere. No. Let me just put John Doe. Oh, what is your first name? I'll just put John. Hi, John. What can we help you with? And then it has select an issue. And then there's a drop-down menu. And he has a whole bunch of stuff on. Oh. Okay. Got a drop-down menu, and then you just select whichever the one is your issue. Right? Budget, census, children, civil rights, consumer protection, criminal justice, agriculture and nutrition, animal welfare, armed services, banking, and finance. Now, if your issue ain't on here, now you got to be forced to pick an issue. So I'm just going to pick the one up top. Contact Corey. Then it asks you a whole bunch of information. Your name, your address. You fill all this information in. And then write a message. And they have 2 questions at the bottom. Would you like a response back? Would you like to sign up for Senator Booker's newsletter? So I'm going to come out of it. And then at the bottom it says submit. Oops. So let me go back. Because the main thing that I wanted you to see, you see next to the website where you can write an issue and you can write a message, right? Main thing I needed you to see was they have a phone number. Main thing I needed you to see was, is it coming in? There's a phone number there. Phone number. So for everybody in your district, it gives you their direct phone number. Now at the bottom, it says view his legislative profile. It tells you what committees he sits on, and he's a senator for New Jersey. It tells you how long he's been in. There's another picture of him. Oh. It even put him amongst the leaders in the, this is interesting. Okay, so here's another thing that's very important. This is very important. You see where that says committee memberships? It tells you all of the committees that he sits on. Okay? I'll scoot up a little further. Now it tells you his enacted legislation. That means legislation that he either sponsored, co-sponsored, or that he joined someone else who sponsored the legislation and they got it passed. That's what this GovTrack tells you. So you know what the person has did. He sponsors something called an enslaved Voyagers Memorial Act. A bill authorized the Georgetown African American Historic Landmark Project and Tour to establish a commemorative work in the District of Columbia and its environs and for other purposes. Well, what's the other purposes, sir? It was introduced August 2nd, 2022. Consolidated Appropriations Act. The bill was incorporated into the Consolidated Appropriations Act, and it was enacted and signed by the President on December 29th, 2022. Is that right, sir? Then it has the history of the bill. Let me get it close so you can see. The full bill passed, and then it has the history of the committees that it went through. So if you want to know how Congress works, you can always, I don't normally look at it. Hold on. All right, so if you want to know how these things work, you can go here, you can track them, and you want to know how these things work, you can go here, you can track it, and you can find out for yourself what your senator, what your House of Representative has been doing, what bills they passed, and the final language on the bill. Bill must be passed by both the House and the Senate in identical form, and then be signed by the President to become law. If not, it's not a law. Bill numbers restart every 2 years. That means that there are other bills with the same number. S for Senate, HR for House Resolution, House of Representatives. This is the one from the 117th Congress, because 117 years have gone by since there has been a Congress. So when people say, oh, it was 400 years ago. Well, yes, it was 400 years ago, but it's only every 4 years we get a new Congress. So that's why it's only 117th Congress, because we don't switch Congress every single year. Otherwise, it would be 400 and something, or however many years. Legislation not passed by the end of Congress is cleared from the books. So it doesn't just sit there. The bills are gone. You got to do it again. So the next Congress will be 118th Congress. During that 118th, okay, so here it is. Show another citation format. No. And let me go back to the bill. Oh, they don't. This activity took place as a related bill, possibly in lieu of a similar activity. Bill and resolutions are referred to committees. Blah, blah, blah. I know that. I'm just trying to see. I actually wanted to see why this bill was sent to the. Because, see, when they do. Let's not be cute. Oh, all right. That's not going to let me do it. Read text. Oh, okay. It's probably doing it, but it's really slow on my phone. Very, very slow. All right. I just wanted to share that. With you. That is how you look up what your congressperson has been doing all the years that he's been in the United States Congress. Like they keep saying, Jim Jordan hasn't passed one bill. He ain't got one bill that he passed. He didn't introduce one bill. So what the hell is Jim Jordan doing? See, these are the things that don't interest me. And as a president of the United States, how would you deal with somebody like Jim Jordan? Is you go around him. Because there are other Republicans and other Democrats that will be on board with your program. May not get everything, but you'll get the bulk of what you want. Because when you're presenting something to the public, like helping people with their own taxes, one-time payment reparations, and then weekly payments, money for the people, you elect me as president, and we have that bill laid out, how it's paid for, how much the projections on how much money you can expect to get back in, so that it pays for itself, getting our deficit down. When I have my staff lay it out, what congressperson is going to vote against it? And it's not going to be convoluted and mixed with other stuff. Just those 2 or 3 things. You give them some of what they want in the bill. You get the Republicans and Democrats say, all get something in the bill. This is not rocket scientists. And I know it's like, oh, they're not going to let you do anything like that, but they're not even going to let it come up. It's not about them letting it come up. There are people who will put the bill in there. And will submit it and make it a bill. Because what happens if they don't? What happens if you put us in debt to tune of this amount of money, year after year after year after year? What happens when you ask for money for wars, right? What happens when you ask us to send money to people for wars? What happens when you show people that here's the capitalists in this world and in North America, and here's a list of how much the capitalists own, what state they own it, their names, and how much it's worth? What happens when you show people this is where your taxes are going, and it is these people who are paying the people that's in there right now to ensure that you never get any of your taxes back? What happens to those people? It's a rhetorical question. Make sure it's in there the correct way. You see it? Hold on. There it is. Make sure. There it is. See, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop playing. The United States military has a global real estate portfolio valued at $749 billion and 26.9 million acres of land in this country. This doesn't include the map that I showed you earlier, where we have a military base over there in the Middle East. That's got to be paid for out of taxes. But 98% of that land is stateside. Here's a look at how much of each state the United States military owns, leases, or operates on. What's the biggest state? Nevada and New Mexico at 5%. California at 3.7%. Utah at 3.6%. Excuse me. Arizona at 4.2%. Utah at 3.6%. And then everything else is either 1 or 0 point whatever. Washington is 2.2% up here. Just so you see. All right. And then everything else all the way across is 0.3, 0.6, 0.7, 0.1, 1 point whatever, 1.5 over here in the north. I see some 1.5s. I see a 3.6. Where's a 3.9? Oh, North Carolina. 3.9%. North Carolina. All right. So we got enough military, and they bury things in that military budget, and they pay things out of that military budget. Nevada is home to Area 51, a highly classified United States Air Force facility within the Nellis Air Force Range. The first state atomic bomb was tested at White Sands Missile Range. I mean, then they give you the top 10 Army bases. Military sites. You see, at one point they wanted us to be a military state. Now I can't pronounce that word very well, but that just means that we would be run by the military, and there'd be a council over the military, and then they'd make decisions for the rest of the country. But the country would be run, I think it's called stratocracy. Instead of a democracy, it's a stratocracy. No, there's no F in it. It's the stratocracy. But I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But that's what Trump wants. See, he wants a republic. He does not want the democratic part of the republic. Keep playing around, he's going to get his way. And anybody that's on benefits, they're going to cut benefits. And then what? Even if you wanted to get a job, it's not enough for you to pay for an apartment to live. Because they have allowed people to come into this country, buy up the apartment complexes, foreigners, the 2%, and charge whatever the hell they want. There's no cap on any of these rents. In my administration, there will be. Because if I'm telling you, this is what I need, this is the senator, this is the representative in the House of Representatives that's stopping me, you vote me in 2024. I got 4 years, so I got till 2028. There's elections coming up. You replace those people, you get them out of there, and you put somebody in that's campaigning to say that they are going to go along with my program. But what we got right now is people saying that they're going to go along with the program as it is. Their election is 2 years, unless there's a special election. Their election is 2 years after I get in. So by 2026, all these people that are saying no to my program, you already know to vote them out. Because my stuff is going in right away. So we're not going to sit around and play this game of, oh, wait till the next election. No, you're going to let me know as soon as I'm in there if you're for or against my program. And then we'll change those rules. So I don't need everybody to give Americans their own tax dollars back. What I need to do is what I said I was going to do if you make me the president of the United States, which you haven't done yet. I don't know if you need confidence in that, my abilities to do it. The worst thing that happened with me is behind closed doors, somebody might get cussed the fuck out. But when I'm at my jobs, I don't use profanity. So you're still going to get cursed out without the profanity. Because either you on program or you not on program. And most people want to make money. And my position is you're going to keep making your money. As long as you pay your taxes, you're good. Because we need your taxes be put back into the system. But money for the people, weekly checks for those who qualify. And that's going to be most Americans. That is going to make unemployment drop drastically because everybody's going to want their goddamn check. And the only people are the people that's on benefits. And that won't count as an income or resource, so their benefits will not be touched. Because ain't nobody on benefits making it. Whether it's railroad, SSI, SDI, retirement benefits, IRA, veterans, or any other pension program. Nobody's making it on that. And then we got to get in there and get with those courts. So if you are working with somebody who's working for Americans, you can get the rest of them to say, hell no, you keep your money, Koch brothers, because I want my job. And I have now somebody that you don't control, that you're not paying, that you can't buy. We now have a president that's really here for Americans. So we could change all this foolishness. And if we don't get elected back in, that's okay, because we're going to put in laws where we know we can make it, because we're entitled to that money for the people payments too. And money for the people payments do not harm or hurt the 1 or 2% in this country. They will pay their fair share of taxes. They won't be taxed to the point where they have to close down businesses. They have to lay people off. But we need industry. We need agriculture and we need industry in the United States. And we got to get the money from somewhere. And if you could take our taxes and put us in debt to help other countries, you can put us in debt to help our people in our countries. It is our taxes. And I don't care if you don't work. I've said this before. If you own a car and you pay any repairs for that car, if you got to buy a tire, you have to pay taxes. You buy gas, you have to pay taxes on the gas. Nobody says, you know what, you on benefits now, so no more taxes for you. When you go to the food store, there's no taxes on certain type of food, but on other type of food, there is taxes. So you're still paying taxes. Paying taxes. taxes. All your life, you'll pay taxes. So there's very few things city to city that you don't pay taxes on. And it doesn't make sense to have president after president not set up a policy in this country, a permanent policy that can't be, you come in and after I'm out of office, somebody come in and they get enough people and they switch it back. No, you make it permanent and that's it. Because Americans are hard workers. Now, do we have some people that are going to be knuckleheads? Yes, I've already accounted for that. Maybe 1 or 2% of the rest of the population will be a complete jackass, but we got prisons for them. And if they want to act crazy and take a gun and try to shoot everybody in sight because they upset because they don't like what's going on, then take your chance against the police. Take your chance against the police. This is why I don't knock people that are on the police force and in the army, because we need people to keep our streets safe. We need people to keep our country safe, but we also need people to keep our streets safe. And yes, there are corrupt officers and chiefs of staffs, but it's not everybody. And if you go through town by town, state by state, and stop voting these motherfuckers back in, you will eliminate them. Because believe it or not, most people who get on the force, they really just want to get in there and do their jobs. But they got this brotherhood of blue where they got to look the other way and put blinders on and this and that. Most of them just want to go to their job, do their job, put their time in, get their pension, and go on about their life. But you got some that want to get on there and be corrupt. You got some that are criminals that need to be weeded out. Yeah, the criminals need to be weeded out of our police departments. But you don't attack the whole police department. Because I promise you, without police departments, crime will be rampant. All right, this video is 1 hour and 38 minutes long. I'm going to see how much of it I can cut to cut it down. Or maybe I'll make it 2 parts, but I doubt that. I hope you watch the video. This is not only for you, this is to show you that I know and we have the same interest. We may not agree on everything. Our politics may be different. Our religious beliefs may be different. But religious beliefs are separate from state. And it may sound crazy. It may sound really crazy when I say pay the black and white people, because there are white people in America who really are black passing as white. Pay us our $1.5 million in reparations. That's probably about 4 to 6% of the population. We can afford that. And if we move the taxes around and move the money around and stop paying I did a video where I went, it's a long video, and I talked about these agreements that we have with other countries to keep their economy going. And then we buy goods from them and they buy goods from us, and we're investing in real estate in other countries and they're investing in real estate here. If we fix that model, because with your citizens coming here, we don't need no damn settlement with you. What do we have a treaty with you for? Your citizens are coming here. We're in a treaty with you so that you can provide jobs and homes and have an agriculture and domestic so that we can buy products from you. And then we're investing in your infrastructure. But your citizens are coming here. So who's left in your country? Oh, okay. See, I'm not interested in running people's country, but you're not going to get our tax dollars to blow people up. You're not going to get our tax dollars to keep sending drugs to this country. You're not going to get our weapons so you can fight like a madman the people in your country and kill them by the hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands with the tax dollars or the money that's produced and the weapons that's produced from tax dollars from the United States. Because we could be doing things in the United States ourselves. And I'm against migrants coming here because of the way they come here. because immigration policy is so convoluted, and it takes 2 years to get your application reviewed, and then another 2 years to get anything moving before they let you over here. The migrants have said, we ain't got time to wait all no 4 years. We want to come over here right now. So they just walk across the fucking border. So everybody that is an immigrant who went and did it the right way and is waiting in line, their shit can't be processed because all these motherfuckers here. Now, if you have an urgent matter, there's a way to do that. An urgent matter is not, we live and the drugs is there and they're going to beat us up, they're going to rape us, they're going to kill us. You know what you do? You do the same thing we did in America. In America, we took our block back. Because just like everybody in America could go out and buy a gun legally and illegally, you can buy guns in America. There's guns all over the world. So you do what you got to do in your country. Get your guns up. Get your confidence up. And if you want to protect your family and your home and your neighborhood, then you get the rest of the people in that neighborhood to join with you. And when they attack one person's family, all of y'all get together and y'all attack them. What's the matter with y'all? It's more of y'all than it is them. And you all will run over here in the millions. In the millions. From a group of people that got guns. They can't even shoot all of y'all and having, if they lined y'all all up and shot all of y'all, they would run out of bullets and have to use their fist. And there'll still be millions of you motherfuckers left. So stop coming over here illegally in the millions, because I don't feel sorry for you. We have those laws in place for a reason. And it is to screen people that are coming here. I don't care who comes to this country when you come here legally. But all this bullshit rushing the border, when I'm president, whole border getting shut down. It's not hard to do. You just have to have somebody who wants to do it. So if the people with the Ivy League schools education, if the people who got the homes, the 2 cars, the 2 kids, the dog, the cat, the gerbil, the pool in the backyard, and going on vacation and this and that. If you people in Congress that have put yourselves on these boards and you're hobnobbing and rubbing nose with who's who, if you people don't want to do it, then the American people need to vote us in, and then we will vote you out, and then we will do it. We'll do it for ourselves. But we need more people like me running for president. And don't worry about those newspapers covering you, because ain't nobody going to cover me. Nobody's going to cover me. It's this video that's going to come out to you, and somebody see it on YouTube and pass it to the next person, and the next person passes it to the next person. And I promise you, it'll go from my bedroom right here in New Jersey all the way out to Hawaii, Guam, Washington, D.C., Oklahoma, Colorado, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. It'll go all over. New Mexico, Washington. There's a Washington and there's a Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the District of Columbia. Washington is the state of Washington. The military is the same way. Look what they're doing to the military. Now, I hear people say, oh, they're using the DOJ, Department of Justice is the DOJ. They're using it as a weapon, and they're using it, and they're going to go after their political, oops, I'm sorry about this. They're going to go after their political enemies. I don't have no political enemies. I don't. They may not like me if I become president, but I don't have no political enemies, because if you're not working with me, I'm going to the people on your ass and get you voted out. Yeah, I just did a video on that where they voted someone out. And then the man said, "Now you know you gotta run your own thing now." Where's that? Where's that? Before I get out of here, let me show you what these people did. Because y'all don't think that it's possible. Now, Cenk Uygur is running. Cenk Uygur is running. I always say his name wrong. It starts with a C, but it's pronounced with a J. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Where about thing at? Because I'll mess around and I'll be looking at stuff on here and instead of doing what I'm supposed to do. Your channel. Okay. Oh. Why did I get 441 subscribers? All right. It must have seen my video. Let me look at my video. Oh, my video got, look at that. Tortilla flour. Look at this. Cook your mixture up. Inside of there, I have this taco season mix. 3 dabs of hot sauce. Mm-hmm. A half of an onion. Mm-hmm. And 3 chunks of cream cheese. You mix it in, and here you wind up with your mixture. Put some mild cheddar on top. Around the outside to a nice deliciousness. And that's just waiting for me. I couldn't Taco wait. Deliciousness. I couldn't wait. Just greedy as hell. I ain't even gonna front. I couldn't wait. Tortilla flour. Cook your mixture up. Wow. Inside of there, I have this taco season mix. Okay, so you see how those 84 people watched that video? Let me come out of this. 84 people watched that video. And then the other video that I got running at the top, what is that? 23 people. But the video that I was looking for is having gotten sidetracked.
I think that we both believe that we're in.
I think it's this one.
Yesterday, Israel announced 4-hour pauses with.
Okay. Oh, I was going to show you a video of somebody for something.
1947. The best way to save lives is to accelerate the war, beat Hamas, and this whole.
See, I done got sidetracked by the foolishness, and now I don't remember what I was talking about. But I was it was how my video went from one place to another is what I was talking about. Because okay, here's this.
Cenk Uygur on the show.
Now this video got 246 views.
Thank you, Rashad. I appreciate it. How are you doing? I'm doing quite well, man. So this is a different context. So let me first ask you, what the hell are you thinking? Yeah, great question. Yes. So, look, I'll tell you the reason that I launched the campaign. I'm worried. I'm very, very worried that Joe Biden's going to lose, and someone needed to affect this campaign and take it off the course that it's on right now, because it's on a collision course with fascism. I believe that Donald Trump is an actual fascist. I think that he used the fake elector scheme.
I'm trying to get it to come in. It's right here.
And Joe Biden right now is down 10 points among independents. He's down in 5 out of 7 swing states. He's down
246 views.
24 points on the economy. This is really chilling, and it's sad. And I don't want to have to say this, and I don't like that Joe Biden is making me say this. But 75% of Americans don't even believe that he's going to survive the second term. It is insanity to run Joe Biden. If this is the most important election of our lifetimes, I would hope that every rational person would agree we should pick the strongest Democratic candidate and not just go, oh, well, let's be polite and let's be deferential to people already in power.
So what I was going to say is that people in this country, and that's not the video that I was going to get, but that is one of the ones that I did want you to see. He cannot be the president of the United States. He's got people excited because he's looked into the 14th Amendment and he thinks that it says that a naturalized citizen can be on the ballot. Or in other words, it does not say in the 14th Amendment of Section 5 or 2 that a naturalized citizen is this, and this. So he got, I think, Arkansas or Arizona to put him on the ballot. And so people are excited. But he cannot be the president of the United States. And now the video that I was looking for went right out of my good. Where's that video that I just did? It's a video short about the people who elected. So are you telling me I didn't put it in here? Was that what that is? I thought I uploaded that video. There was a video where a man was saying that the people. I guess I didn't upload the video. Okay, well, let's play it.
Send me this story, and I got this version.
Yes, I did upload this video. November 14th.
News Nation. And I often talk about if you're unhappy with the government, you can vote. You get to vote. You get to actually try to have your voice heard. And a lot of people complain and go, Steve, if I vote, I'm just one of millions and millions and millions of people who voted. My voice gets so diluted that I can't ever actually make anything happen. This idea that I can participate in democracy is kind of like an overblown promise. And no. It turns out that once in a while, the electorate can make changes that are important. And so
let me skip to the other part before I make my comments.
People were piping up and complaining about it. They were. And the board said, we like it anyways. So, recall election, gone. All of them. Now, I've said before, and I'll say it again many times. Be careful what you wish for. Because these people all got elected basically on a single issue. They got elected on the idea that we're going to keep that battery plant out. They still got to run the township.
But that's okay.
So they've got meetings ahead of them discussing budgets and bylaws and ordinances and ordinance violations and trash pickup contracts.
Absolutely.
All of that stuff. They got all that stuff ahead of them. It's all going to happen.
Absolutely.
But they did make the point. And for that, a lot of people around the nation have spotted this and said that's a fascinating experiment right there. Because you had locals who were against something that their elected officials said, no, but we're for it.
Pay attention.
It doesn't matter that you're for it. You represent other people. Are they for it? And that, in my mind, is really the problem. Quite often, politicians forget they're not in Lansing or Washington or Sacramento or Green Charter Township to represent their interests.
Exactly.
They're elected to represent other people's interests.
Exactly.
It's a great story. Excuse the bad edits. I've been coughing this morning. Don't know why.
Okay. And this is my point in running for president of the United States. For those of you who say, I'm wasting my time, I shouldn't run. For the elite who say, oh, you got to be married. Oh, you got to have 2 families, 2 kids, a dog, a house, and, be a mayor and a senator and a this and a that. Those are your requirements to be president of the United States. Those are not the requirements for the job. The job says 35 years or older. I'm 56. And a United States citizen. Born and raised here. I have skills to run the country. Okay, so obviously I didn't release the video, and that's why it's not up. It's the next. I haven't released a video. It's the next video coming. And I need you guys to stop looking and judging a book by its cover. If I thought for a moment that I could not be the president of the United States, because these people did this because they were frustrated that they were going to let China come in. Don't think about racism. It's letting another foreign company come into their town and do something when they don't want the foreign. It didn't matter where the people could have came from, the Middle East or Africa. It did not matter. They did not want a foreign company coming in and doing it. And they told their representatives that they did not want these people. And they said, they're greasing our palms. They're the Koch brothers. Oh, we're gonna let them in. And so he's right that people are taking the story and extrapolating it out. Now, I didn't know about this story till the November 14th, but I've been planning to run for the United States president for about a year. I had some health issues. I had some schooling issues. Because technically now I should be finishing my associates. But since somebody wanted to go to school while I was incarcerated for crimes I didn't commit, and the college let them do it, now you've eaten up my credits. So even if I was going now, I no longer have enough of my Pell Grant to completely finish what I wanted to finish, so I got to pay out of pocket. I can't pay out of pocket because you let somebody for 2 years while I was in prison for crimes I did not commit. So I don't really talk about the stuff in detail because I have to take these people to court to get my Pell Grant money back. Because you cap out at your Pell Grant money. Pell Grant money is not indefinite money. There's a lifetime of money. So if you know you want to go to school for 6 years, and the only Pell Grant money you got left is for 3 years, where are you getting the money for your payments, for your books and your material for the other 3 years? Oh, go get a job and work. Well, I can't go back to work. I can't work those type of jobs anymore. I need a job where I don't have to do any typing. I don't have to do any writing, where I can be comfortable, where I'm sitting, where I can go and get my physical therapy. It's the type of job that I need. And nope. Because see, they want me there and they want me doing what my skill set is. And what my skill set is, the jobs are very physically demanding. But being president of the United States is not a physically demanding job. You should know that. Look at the people that have been in there. Any of these people do anything physically demanding when they were being the president? Did any of these people have to do any harsh, physical, anything physical? Look at all these old ass people. So don't look at me at 56 and tell me I can't be the president of the United States. When you voted for all these people. Look how old they are. So, yes, I can be the president of the United States. Because physically, it's not anything that would prohibit me. But getting a regular job where I have to use my skills, and I got cases right now that are backed up because I have carpal tunnel syndrome, to the point where I got to wear this glove, where I got to figure out what's going on with the rest of my hands. But it doesn't affect my brain. It doesn't affect my mind. So if there's a job out here where somebody will pay me to sit and run my mouth, let's have it. Let's have it. I'll go to work right away. But we know the president is not working every single solitary day. You seen Trump and Obama playing good tennis and golf the majority of the times they was in the White House. I don't play golf. So as far as my disability, that would not prohibit me from being the president of the United States, because it's not a physically taxing job. Mentally, I'm fine as well. So I don't have any disabilities that would prevent me from being the president. Um, and I got the gift of gab. um, but I seriously would not run for president of the United States if I thought for one moment I could not be a competent president of the United States, because we've got incompetent in there now. We've had incompetent with Trump. We got incompetent with Biden. I'm not going to say Obama was incompetent, but he knew he was only going to accomplish but so much. He could have accomplished more if he gathered the forces and made his point and went to the people. See, I'm going to stay to the people. I'm going to stay to y'all. I'm not getting there and be like, don't need to talk to them no more. No, you're the ones that's put me in there. And if somebody's in the way of my plan, I'm coming to the people. And we're going to get rid of them. Just like these people did. That's why I showed the video. That's why it's about to premiere. I'm probably going to do that one, because this one is 2 hours now of me where I got to go back and make these cuts. So I would never take a job as serious as president of the United States. And somebody was saying something to me. I won't say who it was. And they said, oh, you're going to get in and you'll do this. And I said, well, no, I can't, because when you take the job as president of the United States, you're president for everybody in the United States. You're not just president for black people. Because that otherwise, I'm just like the rest of them. If I did that, I'd be just like Joe Biden, racist ass. I'd be just like Trump, racist ass. People that come to this country, that come here legally, that's supposed to be here, you got no worries for me. But my DOJ is going after migrants who took advantage. Now, if you're a migrant and you really have an issue where you need to stay in this country, that is different. Because there are some migrants who need to flee for their life because they helped this country. But the rest of y'all, it's coming over here talking about we know who's selling the drugs, and you done walk the drugs over the border with you. Gave it to who you need to give it to, and now you going in and you giving false information to the government, and they running around in a circle with their tail stuck behind their behinds, in between their thighs, on false and fake and made up, contrived information that you're giving them so that you can get migrant status. You give them one person, you give them one little squirrel, but they never get the big fish. Well, I know who the big fish is. I know whose drugs it is. I know whose country it's coming from. So I'm going to deal with the president of that country and let them know, sir, yeah, we need to talk. So you're not going to have no drugs in the United States at the level that you used to have, that you got them right now. There could be no drugs in the United States. Not with me as president. And I know that some people are saying, oh my God, this bitch, we ain't voting her in because she's going to take off all drugs. Ain't none of us going to be able to get high. I know people want to get high. I do. I know people want to get high. But too bad. Now, if you know how to get high and keep your job and pay your taxes and don't beat your wife and don't rape your kids, right? Because there are a lot of doctors and attorneys and lawyers that they're now finding out that have sex with their patients when they put them under the knife, trying to support their little habit. The pastors, we didn't even talk about the Catholic Church. I'm never going to go into that because that'd be another 2 hours. We're not even going to talk about the Baptist churches with the preachers. That'd be another 4 hours. But what I know is the people that are going to these places are going there because their morals are so low. They're struggling to make ends meet. And when you have money like that, there'll be a weekly payment, but there'll also be an agency established just to help people with their weekly payments. So you don't have to take your check to somebody that's going to rip you off, so that they can protect your money and make sure that your money is going into an account like it's supposed to be, how that you want to have set up. And so you don't have to worry about getting a check and then somebody coming and robbing you, because your money is in an account and you'll spend your money on a card if that's what you choose. If not, get a check, get direct deposit. You don't have to have the assistance of the people in the agency that I plan on employing and hiring and setting up to run the Money for the People agency, because there'll be an actual agency. There has to be, because they have to make sure that the right people are getting the check. Everybody in America is not entitled to a check. You got to work and put your time in. You got to work and put your 10 years in before you start getting the payment back out. Some people are nine years in and they got one more year, and yeah, they want it. Some people are 2 years away. I'm talking about immigrants, because some immigrants don't pay taxes. So if you came over here as an immigrant and you took advantage of all the quirks and the what do they call that? The benefits that you got from coming over here, the way that you came over here, just like some migrants come over here and they don't have to pay this and they don't have to pay that, and when they work they can do this and that. If you have not paid into the tax system, you ain't getting money out the tax system. It's not a welfare check. I told you, Money for the People is to take Americans out of poverty. Now, Cenk Uygur said, oh, well, I feel like a second-class citizen. You could have stayed home in Turkey and you'd be a first-class citizen. And that goes to him and everybody who is an immigrant that comes here. Not me, because I was stolen and sold. My relatives. So that's why I was born here. But again, you just got to deal with the reality of what is going on now. What do the people need now? What do the electorate? Who is the electorate? You guys, you people, you voters. And there's a lot of you that are not registered to vote. I need you to get registered to vote. Tell them you want to vote online and vote for me, because this is how I can check who voted for me and who did not vote for me. State to state to state. But if you don't want to vote online and you do cast a ballot, my name will be on the ballot. Oh, way at the bottom. Or maybe it won't appear at all, and they'll have a spot that says write in candidate. Then write my name in. Take your phone and take a picture, because when they say, oh, we don't have Golda for president on the ballot, we don't have Golda Harris on the ballot, so you can say, I know she wasn't on the ballot, I wrote her in, and that's who I wanted my vote to go to, so I took a picture of it. I know what I did. I know what's on my ballot. Now you pull my ballot, because see, they're not going to, if I win, they're not going to willingly let me win. But we'll talk about that at another time. All right, this is 2 hours and 10 minutes, and I am going to try to cut and cut and cut until I get the thing down to maybe 40, 45 minutes. A half hour if I can do it. Have a good day. I'm going to eat some more of my yummy wraps. Taco wraps.